Greetings my dears in love and light. I'm Nikki Sutton. Here's some support for empaths because Ascension is bringing more empaths. Now, you probably already know what an empath is, but just real quick, it's when someone picks up the emotions of others, and it can also be the physical feelings of others. So it's not just a psychic sense, picking up knowing or information, it's more to do with emotion, and you experience it as if it's your own emotion. And if you're not fully aware that you're doing this, then you can just be pretty confused why you're feeling up and down all the time. Now, there's a lot more empaths coming to the surface now because due to Ascension and the energies we're receiving, these spiritual abilities are coming out. They're not like special abilities, we all have them. We are all spirits. Our souls, we're becoming our souls, we're becoming our true selves, and these abilities are able to come out as the vibration rises. You can see this by the Schumann frequency and it peaking all the time. Okay, so we're all empaths to some degree, and we all share this reality. We're all part of the unified field. We're all connected together. So those connections, they're being felt more strongly. Sometimes being an empath can be difficult. In a minute I'll go into how you can help yourself and shield yourself and deal with being an empath better. But if you're in a group of people, you might pick up the collective emotions of the entire group. It may be very exhilarating and wonderful, or it may feel negative. It depends on the nature of the group. You could be in a public place, crowd, a shopping area, or a train station or airport, and you might feel the collective feelings of this place. In an airport, people might be feeling excited about going on holiday, and you might feel that excitement yourself, and it's experienced as you experiencing it yourself. So it can be a wonderful gift, because moving to the fourth density and Ascension, these abilities, it's not something to be hated on, it's something to get used to. If you're having this new ability come on, it can feel scary and strange at first, but we're all meant to have it. It's part of our true nature. So it's learning how to deal with it and get used to it and turn it into something positive. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could all empathise with each other? That's put yourself in someone else's shoes. We would have great understanding of each other. We could help each other so much more because we know what the other person is feeling. So if we're all empaths, it could become a wonderful thing. If we all could feel what the other person was feeling and help them when they're feeling down and share in their joy when they're feeling happy. So being an empath can cause us to want to be alone so that we're not picking up on other people's energies. So if you feel like you want to be alone a lot and perhaps you're not sure why, it's because likely or possibly you're picking up on their emotions, and you may not just simply have social anxiety. Some people they need inner work because they have social anxiety, just like I always did, and I feel a lot better today. But others, they're in social situations and their anxiety may not be due to some trauma from their past. It may be due to picking up the energies of a crowd, and then they'll be with another crowd and they feel a lot better, or another person they feel a lot better because that person's not anxious. As I say, they may not be realising why they have anxiety, and yet there it is. So being an empath can cause depression and stress and sleeplessness. Imagine if you're sleeping in a room where on the other side of the wall your neighbour has terrible anger issues, or he is experiencing sleeplessness, or she, or is depressed themselves. You're sleeping next to, within a few feet of someone, and you could be picking up on what they're feeling. And in those cases you need to decide, well, can I switch bedrooms? Can I move somewhere else? You need to evaluate, are my surroundings safe for me as an empath, and get yourself into a place that is. So with a long-term exposure of picking up other people's emotions and not realising what's happening, it can cause sadness and depression. You may be in a family where there's a lot of passive aggressiveness towards each other, so it may not seem like such a negative surrounding, but you still feel this frustration with each other, and you feel frustrated yourself. And you go out for a walk in the woods and you feel better. So you can also experience restlessness and burnout and physical pain. So in my video about illnesses, we see that energy can be stored in different parts of the body. Now, if you're an empath picking up on negative energies from others and it's not being released in some way, which I'll explain in a minute how to, then it can collect in various parts of your mind, body, spirit complex. It can make you restless so that you can't relax your muscles, so you're restless when you go to sleep. Or it can manifest as burnout, so an inability to carry on. You're just absolutely just knocked out, very tired indeed. Your body is unable to cope with processing all the excess negative emotion. Or it can manifest as physical pain. So back pain and shoulder pain and headaches are very common ones. It's too much negative energy that you're not dealing with, you're not getting rid of it, and it's too much for you. And oftentimes we don't realise where it's coming from. And also, if you have a partner who's quite pessimistic and moody, it can make you feel negative anyway. Perhaps you feel like you can't please them, but you may also be picking up on how they feel. If you're a very sensitive empath and you're in a relationship that's somewhat negative, then it's not going to be serving you, because you're going to always be feeling how they're feeling about you. If they've got issues and trauma and the relationship is wrong and you're feeling them feeling negative about you, which is not going to be your fault anyway, but if you're picking up on this negativity over time, it's going to do you in. So you need to think about your boundaries. Is this situation right for you? Can I continue to soak this up? You may believe you want to stay with someone who constantly has negative emotion. You need to figure out, am I going to be able to help them in the long term? Am I in this for the long term? But am I going to be able to take it? Being an empath long term. Okay, so here we go. What we can do about it. The first step is being aware. We need to shine the light of consciousness on it by becoming aware you're an empath and realising what's going on. We can do something about it. Now, first of all, meditation helps you to know the true you. Now, why do you need to know the true you? Because then you can differentiate between what's your emotion and what's somebody else's. So through meditation, we quiet the mind and we reset to a point of calmness. We need to keep doing it. At very least 20 minutes per day. 40 would be good. And I myself, some days I don't get to do it. I'm very busy and I appreciate how tricky it can be to fit in meditation. One thing to do is to prioritise it higher in your list of priorities, especially if you're an empath. So meditation helps you to reset. It lowers your brain waves to the alpha state, and you can feel that true you better without being swept up in thought and emotion. You meditate. And then when you approach life, you know what you feel like, not what all of that fluff that's constantly bombarding my psyche feels like, which I've been experiencing all the time. Meditate with protection. You can see my videos on protection. So you can lock out those empathic signals that are coming in and experience what it's like to be you while you meditate and reset. So when you go into the world again, or are with those who you've been picking up the emotional energy from, you realise that that's not my energy. And in your mind, you can isolate that. So you're still feeling it, but you know it's not yours. So you can detach. In your mind's eye, you see it as a separate thing. It's over there. So I feel the sadness of a family member, let's say. Now, I know what I feel like because I've been meditating. I know my calm reset point and what's me. So when I'm in the presence of that person and I'm picking up on it, I immediately know that's not me. So in my mind, I isolate that. You may slightly be feeling it as an undercurrent naturally because you're with them. But it doesn't trigger you. It doesn't affect you because you've isolated it in your mind and understood it's not you. So it's not triggering you. It's over there. And then you carry on. It may feel like noise in the background of your psyche, but it's not triggering you because you know it's not you. Now, another thing, it's important to attract the right people into your life. As I said, think about your boundaries and what you're willing to accept. You know what other people feel like, and now you know what you feel like at a base level. So those in your life, as an empath, surround yourself with people that are balanced and well, until such point that the human race has healed more and we realise that healing is needed from the beginning. People have parenting classes to help support their children. People are healed and not feeling desperate in life and passing on these traumas to their children. Until the human race is healed, those who are empaths need to protect themselves and surround themselves with positive people so that they're okay and they're recharged. And then you can go out to work and deal with those who are stressed in the workplace. Then you can go out and do your volunteering and deal with those who are sad and need help or need assistance in some way. Because you know what's you. You're surrounded by a support group of balanced people who love you and you love them. And then you go out recharged. You know what's you and what's them in your psyche emotionally. And you can do that work and help with other people. It's that awareness. And more ways to help is grounding, is to go stand on the earth with your bare feet or touch and hold a tree for as long as you can, a minimum of about 10-15 minutes if possible, to stand on the earth. It's not the same standing on tarmac or concrete. Stand on the grass or on the earth. And what this does is it discharges that excess electrical energy, the static, into the earth. And this can be seen when you hook yourself up to a multimeter and you can see the body voltage changes when you stand on the earth. It is an actual thing. There's scientific research to prove it, and I recommend you look into that, and I will be doing a video on that soon. And I recommend you look into grounding. I'll put a link in the description all about grounding and the research that has been done. We must release that excess electrical energy back into the earth, and at the same time negative ions are free to flow around your body, mopping up those free radicals. We evolved standing on the earth, and we insulated ourselves with rubber and plastic soles in our shoes. So that will help you, because you're getting rid of that excess energy from you into the earth. Next, get out in nature. That's the default version of our reality, where no one's come along and changed everything. Get out in nature, the default matrix, default program. Because that is the truth of our reality. That's how it should be. And again, you ground in nature, get rid of the excess energy. Time alone, as we said, you may wish to have time alone to feel better, to reset, do that meditation. It's nice to be with animals because their emotions are usually more pure and have a high vibration, unless the animal has been traumatized, of course, and then may be experiencing fear. But spending time with animals will help. Keep doing your balancing and inner work, because if you are feeling balanced and complete yourself without your own negative emotions bugging you every day, then you'll be able to cope better when you're experiencing other people's emotions, if your own emotions have been healed. And take plenty of time to relax, as I say, more taking those breaks to reset. Now, lastly, I used to find it very difficult, say in a working environment, a stressful working environment. For example, when I was working for the media company, I used to be in marketing and there was very tight deadlines for things. I used to find it very difficult because those around me would be stressing out as well as me stressing out. So it's like a vicious circle. I'd get home with complete burnout. So I know what it feels like. I remove myself from that situation, but those who can't is practicing protection, and in addition to visualize a bubble of white light around you, because intention is key in this reality and all is a thought. If you can visualize that bubble of white light around you and that no negative emotions can enter, that tells your psyche to not let them enter. So I hope the methods I've given you today help you cope as an empath. And I want to give you some reassurance that you're not alone and there's more empaths coming through, not just being birthed into this reality, but more people having these abilities come through. Once we're all there, it will be much easier to be an empath. But as you go along, if you recognise it as a positive trait, a positive ability that's gifted to you to help others, that's what it is at the end of the day, to be able to empathise. That's of the next density of existence. That's what Ascension's all about. It's part of the raising of the level of consciousness. So leave me and others a comment to let me know how you feel being an empath and what you're doing to feel better. Support this Spiritual Awakening YouTube channel on Patreon and receive weekly bonus videos. You can also choose to receive spiritual guidance via email or spiritual sessions. And don't forget to click subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to receive regular spiritual inspiration on your journey through life. Like and share also, because we're raising the mass vibration together. So go now in love and peace.